Joe.
Blackula.
Hi, this is Dennis Snipe, host of the thought-provoking, solution-oriented talk show, daring to make a difference in our communities, entitled FocusTalk. And I'm looking for you to be the next featured guest on FocusTalk. If you're an entrepreneur, an author, community-based organization, artist, or if you're simply daring to make a difference in your community, I need to hear from you. Here's what I need you to do. Send an email to dennis@dennissnipe.com with your name, brief description of what you do, contact number, and why you should be a guest on FocusTalk. I look forward to hearing from you soon. In the meantime, please continue to stay focused. You're in tune to Chicago's most popular college music radio station, 89.3 WKKC. This is Focus Talk, the thought-provoking, solution-oriented talk show, daring to make a difference in our communities. We're talking on a regular basis because the answers really matter. What are we talking about? Well, we're talking about politics, religion, personal development, education, history, music, and then from time to time, we are spotlighting positive people who are doing positive things right here in the city of Chicago, throughout the Chicagoland area, as well as the continental United States. I'm your host, Dennis Snipe. Joining me in the studio today is the CEO of Street Bullies, Mr. Brad Kelley. Brad, how are you, sir?
I'm great, and yourself?
All right. Good to have you in the studio.
Great
and
to be here.
Yeah, and
I feel like I've been here before.
Yeah. And to share a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Well, they say I'm a promoter, but I say I'm more of a businessman than a promoter. I promote events. I promote artists. I promote products. I won't even say what's in my bio because there's other things that go with that, but it's
okay.
A little too raunchy for the radio. No.
Now, how long have you been doing that? Or better yet, how did you get started?
Well, I got started throwing parties. I wasn't exactly the best at them at the time, but we were persistent. We kept going. Then I just looked to move to do other things in the industry, and I met Pink House. I also had a job. I worked at Dominic's, and he came in there. He lived right across the street, so he came in like every day, and every day I would like pick his brain, and he would give me knowledge, and like he would just sit there and talk to me for quite some time when he could have just brushed me off for anything. But he really gave me a lot of game, and he started taking me with him, introducing me to people, expanding my network.
Okay.
And I'm so appreciative to him. I owe him my whole career, him and Scoop Jackson, and it's a blessing to be in KKC, channeling his spirit right now. He's KKC alum, so it's definitely a blessing, and I'm definitely thankful.
Yeah, most of us, we owe a lot to Pink because he was the guy that was on the air at the time that all of us were in class. A lot of us who came through the broadcasting program here at Kennedy King College, we would stand on the outside of the glass and look at Pink doing his thing.
And make no mistake, he opened the doors for a lot, and I mean a lot, of Chicago artists. And that almost should be a mandatory thing you should know, being an artist from Chicago, who Pink House is. If you don't know anything but the two stations he was most noted from coming from, you should really have to know who Pink House is as an artist from Chicago.
Yeah, that's so very true. That's so very true. Because those of us who are part of the music scene of the industry, we owe a lot to Pink House.
Yes, sir.
We owe a lot to Pink House. Now, how did your desire for the industry grow, Brad?
I just always loved music. I always collected music, tons of tapes, CDs, whatever it is, and I just always was fascinated with the industry. Like I would be that dude going to the in-stores. I truly miss in-stores, talking to artists, getting their perspective on the industry. And then, like I say, when Pink House started letting me come to different events, it really opened the doors for me, and it really gave me an outlook to the business of music, because I would never, like, you just never knew the machine behind how records, got into rotation, how, the grassroots campaign to some records. It just really exposed me to the actual business of music. And you would just never know. Like, you would be so fascinated. But it's so crazy that now I wish that it was like Men in Black, like somebody could just take one of the little phaser things and hit me, and I could just forget everything, so I could like really enjoy your record instead of thinking about like, how to get service, what machine is behind it now. Like, it's like when you're a director and you go try to see a movie, you gotta forget like roll A, roll B, and things of that nature.
Pick it apart.
Correct.
But why are they showing me this?
Correct.
Why is that? Yeah, I understand. So where are we now, in your opinion, Brad, as far as the music industry? Have things changed a great deal from then to now?
They've changed drastically. We're living in a talentless society. Nothing is done based off talent anymore. A lot of people get on due to the machines behind them, that being their social network, spins on the radio. It doesn't necessarily equate talent. And I say this, an example now is a lot of younger rappers now are saying they're not lyricists, they're not good rappers, they're not this and that. Rap has always, as anything, has been a competitive field. Almost to say it's been a competitive sport. And I compare that to, you would never see LeBron James getting off the court saying, I know I'm not a good basketball player. You would never see Michael Jordan getting off the court saying, well, I know I'm not a good basketball player, if being a basketball player is the profession you've chosen. You're going to give anything you do 100%. And I think the allure of money and fame has really watered down the need for talent in the industry.
Okay. So then does that mean that those individuals who are truly talented are doomed?
I mean, you still have the Kendrick Lamars, you still have the J. Coles, but they're the minority to the system. We had, and don't get it wrong, what we have nowadays as far as rappers and the classification of the music they make, we've had those back in the day. We've had the party rappers, you had the party rappers, you had the Candymans, the MC Hammers, the Vanilla Ice, the people that used to, like even OPP, even Naughty by Nature, even if they are a harder edge group, they still made anthems, so they were still considered a novelty act, which most of these rappers are now. It's like 90% novelty acts now. But we had more diversity. You had the social rappers, you had the gangster rappers, you had this. Now it's just everybody trying to imitate each other. So it's no real diversity. It's just everybody sticking to the same sound, the same pattern. They got the same fan base. It's nothing to choose from no more. It's like nothing.
Well, now, I mean, if you look at it, that is there a really big difference between business and the artistry of the industry? Because if it's business, it's to make money.
That's correct. And like, I'm talking certain questions I'll address from still a fan. I'm still a fan of music. Anybody in the business, you always gonna be a fan of music. I still love getting a hold to artists that nobody is up on and me putting them up on artists. That's what should excite you about the business. I remember that's what propelled us back in the day, is finding that artist and putting your whole neighborhood art on them, and then you would be like, yo, like, man, I remember I was the first guy. I put everybody up on, like you had that. And now, me being in the industry, you understand that the companies do have to make money. you understand that it's about profit and loss.
So Brad, is that excitement that everybody behind this particular cat who's really good, who sounds good, that came from the hood, and we all gonna make this happen, is that dead?
Yeah, because as soon as as soon as that person get on, they looking for somebody else. Like, and it didn't start. The whole microwave era didn't start with young people, like people want to credit. It really started with like the Master P days. Master P was the first artist to continuously put out music. So he kind of started that pattern of you always expecting something more, something new, something right now. I think he really stopped that whole thing of artists. You know, when artists used to drop a CD, they would like wait maybe a year or two to drop their next CD. It'll be maybe a 2-year break. I think he really made artists stop. He took the necessity of giving artists breaks out of the game. It was like, okay, I just dropped this album, but like from 6 months from now, you know, Master P was doing what Future was doing back then and now, making his artists drop continuous albums. He always had a roster. Trust me, we had the posters in the office, and we would never realize how many albums we would work for No Limit in a year, like until we looked at the big poster they were releasing. We'd be like, man, Young Bleed, Mia, this. You're like, man, good Lord, you know, but like I think he really started that. In fact, I know he did. Like, it's nothing anybody can say that can like change my opinion that he really started that back to back, you know, the continuous dropping of music from different artists.
Well, was it all quality music? Was that a good thing?
No. And from artists nowadays, you're not gonna get. I mean, sometimes Future miss. Like, he got some albums that people question, but he got some albums that's a home run. Nothing when you continuously do it are you gonna get, you know, that same quality in anything. Food, you know, you got this batch that's gonna taste different from this batch because it's mass produced. Like, you know, like I told you when we talked about humble beginnings, I was a baker and Dominic's, so I know like the consistency. Sometimes I taste this cookie and I taste that cookie and I can tell, or I go to a restaurant and I know like, yeah, they saying it's fresh, but this really it's a mass produced because it just got that taste. Like the same thing with music is. Like, you could tell, like, you know, when the artist needs to slow down. Like, okay, his music is, he had a CD that had at least 8 quality songs on it to now 1, and now the record label really got to stand on this one and really try to sell it. And you like, you know, like, you need a break. But artists now, it's such a microwave era that the artists now are too scared to be out to the spotlight, because once you gone, they moving on to something new.
So will the industry ever turn around to the point where we're getting back to quality music, we're getting back to artists who are talented, we're getting back to that old school feel and look, or is that's gone?
I mean, it depends on what the record labels want. Like we aren't the gatekeepers. It depends on what the radio wants. It's they program these people. The repetitiveness in these songs, like like most people don't know what they listening to is good music until they've heard it so many times in clubs, on the radio, in your favorite shopping mall. It's the repetitiveness that sells them. If they want the masses to be educated, they can push educated rap. I mean, not preachy, but like, you know, more content-driven music, and that's what they'll go with. Like, it's about, you know, it's about profitability. Right now, right now this music is quick. It don't take much. They hammer it out and they put it into the machine. And they going with the flow. You know, you can't really blame them, you know, in a part. And, you know, the businessman in me was like, you know, like, the businessman in me understands, like I say, the fan in me says, like, y'all gotta do better. Like,
well, okay. Now we look at the programming aspect of music where I remember I didn't like Ralph Tresvett's Sensitivity.
Sensitivity.
But they played
That
it
was
so
the
much.
jam.
I didn't like that. I didn't like that. But they played it over
Exactly.
and over and over and over again.
And guess who made you like that record without you knowing?
Mm-hmm.
Women. When you saw that woman reaction to that song, you like, man, that's my jam too. Hey, women play a bigger role in a lot of things that people know they don't really get credit for. Like women in all your test markets and everything have been the total driving force to music. Cause men are bootleg, women will go out there and support their artists. Men, we not really coming to no R&B concert unless our girl want to come to. Cause even if we like the song, we not coming with the guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, so women
I guess you're right.
Women they play a big part in the whole aspect of music. Like way bigger than people get them credit for. I mean, they know on the low, you know, like women, like most people only like something like the DJs. Like you play a record in the song, not because the guys like it, but because the women get up and dance to it. That's what you playing. Like that's what you looking for. And most guys, like I was the Saturday night promoter at Adriana's, and there was a ton of songs I didn't like. But I saw how women snap and women get up, oh hey girl, man, that's my song. They jump in. That's gonna promote men to buy more drinks. You know, it's just it all works hand in hand. But women are the true key to a lot of that.
So then we play to the women what they like, regardless if we like it or not. And we basically follow the lead of the women folk.
You really are. Most people won't admit it, but you really are. Like, everything in music a lot of it is about sexuality. Like, everything. From marketing to everything. It don't matter. Like, music is a business. I talked to somebody at Def Jam one time. And, like, this is back before I really had a concept of, like, the music business. But he was breaking it down to me. He said, man, you know what? People love LL Cool J. Of course, my first reaction is women. He was like, man, because the women want them and the men do too. And I'm like, what? That's like a real bold statement. But it's like, he say, man, they might want him, you know, whatever, but then they want to be him too. He like, you know, you selling that persona. You selling, an artist is selling not only his music, but his lifestyle. You fall in love with their lifestyle too. Like that's why social media is so important now. You want to see what they wearing, dressing, the restaurants they going to, how they moving, what cars they in, what new belt they got. They sell their lifestyle as well. That's why you buy into it. That's why rappers are doing these clothing commercials. That's why they can sell you clothing commercials. That's why the ugliest stuff people are buying, cause you programmed to like that stuff. Like, them Gucci belts them Gucci shoes, belts and all that, they don't be quality. They look like something that come out the wig shop. But Quavo...
Not the wig shop.
Quavo got it on, so now it's a hit. Like, everybody want it now. You programmed to like that stuff.
So, Brad, how do we unprogram the people or reprogram them?
Do they want them unprogrammed? Because Chicago has been a program market forever. Ever since I had meetings at Tommy Boy. Man, when Twista and Naughty by Nature was beefing, man, Brian Stevens from Tommy Boy was telling me like, yo, how do we stop this? Like, Chicago is such an important market. But he said Chicago has been such an important market for us. But every label's told me that because Chicago will buy anything. We such a consumer market. Like, we'll, man, you gotta figure. United Center. What's the guy from Pink Floyd? He played there one day. Kendrick Lamar had 2 shows. J. Cole had 2 shows, all in 1 week. That's in the upwards of 80,000 people in the United Center in 1 week. That's a very large consumer base, and that shows you how much money is in the Chicago marketplace. 1 week. You know how many festivals come here?
Brad, let's take a pause for the calls, and we're gonna come back on the other side of the break and talk a little bit more about the, I guess you can say, the ups and the downs of the music industry.
I got you.
You're in tune to Chicago's most popular college music radio station, 89.3 WKKC.
You're watching FocusTalk TV
with your host, Dennis Snipe.
Hi, this is Dennis Snipe, host of the thought-provoking, solution-oriented talk show, daring to make a difference in our communities, entitled Focus Talk. And I'm looking for you to be the next featured guest on Focus Talk. If you're an entrepreneur, an author, community-based organization, artist, or if you're simply daring to make a difference in your community, I need to hear from you. Here's what I need you to do. Send an email to dennis@dennissnipe.com with your name, brief description of what you do, contact number, and why you should be a guest on Focus Talk. I look forward to hearing from you soon. In the meantime, please continue to stay focused.
Joe.
Blackula.